Hi again, everybody. This is Marty with House of Arms. Today, let's talk a little Thompson Center history, specifically Generation 1 Contender, Encore, and Generation 2 Contender. We get a lot of questions of guys that'll call up and say, I think I have a contender. How can I tell the difference? Okay. Or they won't know specifically the difference between a contender or a G2 or an Encore, not knowing that there's no interchangeability on the barrels and parts between those different platforms. So let's talk specifics. In 1967, Thompson Center came out with a Generation 1 Contender. You'll see that it has the engraving on the sides, the cougar, mountain lion type scene on it. So that's a distinctive way to tell a Generation 1 from a Generation 2 right there. You'll also see the selector switch on the hammer. Some early editions had a built-in one that took a screwdriver to change. But this is a really good shape late edition G1 Contender. They made about 500,000 of these from 1967 until 2002. Okay, so again, G1 Contender. All right, now we're going to go into the era of the Encore. While they were making those contenders, they realized that they had some design issues, so they remedied them. They learned from them. They made revisions on the fly, like the easy open trigger guard on those G1s. Also some lockup changes on them, a lot of internal changes to them across the 35 years that they made them. Okay, well in the mid-90s they came out learning from those early design flaws from the Contender. They came out with the Encore. Okay, notice the beefed up sides or the gusseted sides on those. This is a Pro Hunter model, so it's got the swing hammer. This was later in the 2000s, but as an Encore, you'll see that it's quite a bit bigger. Okay, I tell guys that that the Contender is about a 3/4 scale of the Encore. So as the Contender model was built around pistol cartridges and some of the lighter pressured rifle cartridges, the Encore, the big brother, was built just the opposite. So it was built around the heavier rifle cartridges and then dropped down into some of the pistol cartridges. Well, then learning from the success that they had with the Encore platform, okay, then and having ended in 2002 the production of the Generation 1 Contender, in 2003 they came out with the Generation 2 Contender. Okay, now you'll notice the similarities between the two. So they, again, learning from their success with the Encores, they beefed up the side, so that eliminated frame stretch. They still had the selector switch on top of the hammer for rimfire to centerfire. And so the Generation 2 is a much stronger unit than what the Generation 1s were. Okay, so with these three platforms, and I've shown them all here with our custom crusher loop grips, by design, of course, and they made them in pistols, they made them in rifle, they made them in blue, they made them in stainless. And what I did show you here was the weather shield. So the weather shield that came into play sometime in the 2000s. So that's a weather shield is like a Cerakote type of product, a coating, if you will. So that shows the distinct nature of those. There is no crossover between Contender, Encore, or G2, but there is crossover between the Generation 1 and Generation 2. Sometimes the barrels on the G2, depending, G2 barrels, new production barrels, depending on the revision level of your Contender frame, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It depends on what lockup revision that you had. It's about a 50-50 toss-up on those. So in any case, I hope this answers some questions. Again, for your old hat guys that have been around forever, I'm not telling you anything, but this is the history as I've learned it over the last 10 years, and hopefully this will answer some questions, and we sure do enjoy doing these YouTube videos. Have a great day.